Once upon a time, in a land filled with sunshine and laughter, there was a village so picturesque it looked like a painting. This village, Erisea, was home to King Edward, a ruler beloved by all for his wisdom and kindness. His heart was as vast as the sky, ensuring his people were always happy and safe. King Edward had a large family, with 2 wives. His first wife, Margaret, bore him 3 daughters, princesses as radiant as the morning sun. His second wife, Eleanor, gave him 2 brave sons, future kings of the land. The princesses, named Amelia, Lillian, and Tessa, were known for their playful hearts. Every day, they would run barefoot from the palace, laughing, shouting, and playing games with the village children. They splashed in the river, got muddy, and tangled their hair in the wind, caring little for royal decorum. But not everyone approved of their wild ways. "They are too unruly," people would whisper. "Shouldn't princesses act with grace and dignity?" Queen Margaret, though gentle, often reminded them, "You are princesses, my dears. It's time you behave like it." But the girls would only giggle and dash off, their spirits as free as the wind. They wanted to live as everyone else did, to play, to explore, and to love the land they would one day rule. The villagers muttered that they were foolish, but the princesses didn't mind. To them, being true to oneself was more important than any crown. Each year, Erisea held a grand festival, a time of joy and celebration. But this particular festival was special. It was the event where their brothers, the princes, would choose their brides. The village square burst with color, music, and the rich aroma of festival foods. Beautiful maidens from Erisea and distant lands arrived, wearing their finest dresses, hoping to catch the eye of a prince. Meanwhile, the 3 princesses watched from the palace window, detached from the splendor. When suitors came asking for their hands, the sisters always found reasons to decline. "He's too proud," Amelia would say. "He thinks his wealth can buy love," Lillian would sigh. Even when a rich nobleman from another land arrived with extravagant gifts, claiming he wished to marry all 3, they refused. Tessa even splashed water on him in defiance, making the entire village gossip. "What foolish girls," they whispered, turning away such rich and powerful men. Their parents, King Edward and Queen Margaret, were puzzled. "Why won't you marry?" they asked. "Your brothers are ready, and you are older." Smiling, Amelia replied, "When we find true love, we will know." As their brothers found their brides and the festival ended, the villagers spoke in hushed tones. What will become of the 3 foolish princesses? But the sisters remained unbothered. They believed true love wasn't found in a single festival, it found you in its own time, in its own way. As the seasons changed and the moon traced its path across the sky, the princesses matured into beautiful young women. They watched the leaves turn from green to gold and pondered love and its meaning. Seeing their brothers content in their marriages, a stirring grew within them. One evening, under a starlit sky, the princesses approached their father with a bold request. "Father," Amelia began, hope in her voice, "we want a festival of our own. A festival where men may demonstrate their talents and wisdom," Lillian added. "We want to find love, but it must be true love," Tessa finished. King Edward studied his daughters. Their spirits had always been untamed, seeking meaning beyond tradition. Though hesitant at first, he saw the sincerity in their eyes. Perhaps this was their path. With a nod, he declared, "Let there be a festival." Excitement spread like wildfire. Suitors from near and far prepared for the challenge. They polished their skills, rehearsed their talents, and dreamed of winning the hearts of the princesses. The village bustled with anticipation, tailors sewed fine garments, chefs prepared lavish feasts, and musicians tuned their instruments. This festival would be unlike any before. When the grand day arrived, Erisea shone under the golden sun. The village square overflowed with hopeful men, dressed in their finest, their eyes set on the princesses. Some displayed gold, others boasted of their vast lands, and many flexed their strength, believing these things would win the princesses' hearts. But Amelia, Lillian, and Tessa had a surprise. "We have a challenge," Amelia announced, her voice carrying over the crowd. "To win our hearts, you must do more than flaunt wealth or strength. You must guess our real names," Lillian declared. A hush fell. Names? But no one knew their true names. The princesses had always been referred to as the three foolish sisters. Their real names had become a forgotten mystery. The suitors exchanged bewildered glances. They had prepared to showcase their prowess, not to solve a riddle. Murmurs of confusion rippled through the crowd. Yet the princesses stood firm, their challenge a test of patience, wisdom, and genuine understanding. Among the villagers, a man named Oliver observed quietly. Unlike the others, Oliver was not a noble or warrior. He was known as the village fool, often seen laughing too loudly and stumbling through the streets. People dismissed him, considering him a man of no consequence. But beneath the surface, Oliver was different. When he heard the challenge, something stirred within him. He saw what others did not, a chance. "Why not me?" he thought. "Why can't I try?" Determined, he followed the princesses from a distance, watching them as they played by the river, their laughter echoing like music. He listened closely, but they only used affectionate nicknames, never their true names. Then, one day, fate intervened. While playing near the forest, Tessa tripped and fell into a hidden pit. "Help!" she cried, fear replacing her laughter. Oliver, concealed behind a tree, watched as Amelia and Lillian rushed forward. "Amelia to the rescue," the eldest shouted. "I'm coming, Tessa," Lillian called, her voice thick with worry. Oliver's heart pounded. The names he had heard, their true names. As the sisters pulled Tessa from the pit, Oliver stepped forward. "I know your names," he declared, his voice steady. "Amelia, Lillian, and Tessa." Gasps filled the square. The man they had mocked as a fool had succeeded where all others had failed. King Edward's eyes widened. "How did you know?" Oliver smiled. "I took the time to listen, to watch, to see them beyond their crowns." Silence fell. Then, slowly, the princesses smiled. This was the kind of love they had sought, not one dazzled by riches, but one that understood their hearts. But Oliver had one final revelation. "I am not who you think I am," he said, his voice clear. "I am Prince Oliver of a neighboring kingdom. I came in disguise to find a woman who would love me for who I am, not my title." The village erupted in astonishment. King Edward, now beaming, nodded in approval, and so, in the heart of Erisea, love was found not through gold or strength, but through patience, wisdom, and the courage to see beyond the surface. The festival would be remembered for generations as the day three princesses found their true match, not in riches, but in hearts that truly saw them.